Altman, Zipporah or CP, Altman, and then another last name. I don't know what to tell you about the threatening. It's so much karma that it's true I don't know you. Why you wanted to lock me in a house with the strangers who can't settle their differences because they're not due to know one another, but they didn't fight with each other to the death. They fought with each other about where is Becky and how to check her address and what does she need and what does she have, what can she do for you. And you did do that to myself when I was very young, starting at about 3 years old, but the Altmans came in later about 5 years old, and I don't know them mentally. I don't know who they are mentally. They had a one-level house. It had one bedroom that I saw, which was mine, and then Sean Altman, she came right in and stayed in a second bed in my room. And I'm not sure why there were two beds in there. I don't dispute that there were two beds in there. Well, whose idea was that? What's wrong with your furniture problem? Do you know that I've been living in unfurnished apartments since year 2002? It's 2025 now. And I've been living in unfurnished apartments because I don't actually have any furniture offered to myself. And all this time, all the people who want to know how I'm going to pay rent for an unfurnished apartment that come and see me from all parts of America, they all go back to their furnished housings on airplanes. And you're parking airplanes to park your furniture in your house. And you don't get it. You don't get it at all. The pilots never offered you anything. The pilots aren't really trying to die for you and your commissions in housing you don't belong in because you have illegal genitals. And the pilot's not due to fly the plane because he has illegal genitals. Well, who asked who to fly the plane? If the pilot says no, he's not going to show up for the being in the cockpit. It's a cockpit. He has to sit there while he flies the plane. That's your fault. I don't ever ask a pilot to fly a plane unless I have an emergency, and I have paid off leverage for pilots as high as I am right here, having to say that I do land the plane for the pilot because he doesn't have a choice. How many of you can say that about your air traffic control? The pilot would believe in me as God that I land the plane with himself and that I make it worth his time, that it's my time for me on my time. But he is not supposed to be the one who's over me, but that's what's wrong with what you are. You do have to have a threatening on you. But then at the same time, I might find that before or after the flight, I would need the pilot to do something for himself, for an unclean death for himself, so he's not a pilot anymore. And it's true that I don't know the pilots that way. I don't really know them or trust them, the many pilots I have used. And then, of course, there are the pilots I don't even know because I don't have access to funding for as long as maybe when the last plane I landed on was in the year 2006, and I'm still paying off that one flight from Atlanta, Georgia to Las Vegas, Nevada. I don't have that paid for ever because it's not true I would know you. I didn't actually know which flight I was taking to get back here. I was looking as to whether or not I could get out of the house that I was told I had to leave within 4 days, and I did just leave within 4 days. I left on the final day, and I never went back to the house, and they could say that I can come back to the house, but I have all the money tied up so that I don't go back to the house in karma or in threatening. I don't have any interest in the house. I deceased myself. And the house is deceased that way by myself, but there are people in there. I don't know why they still want to be there. I don't know why they think that I'm going to help them with the house. Well, I still have people visiting me about that last airplanes that I had to take in the year 2006. That's 19 years ago. And they're still coming here about those flights because I am an order that lands the plane. And that's what's wrong with what you are. You don't have air traffic control landing your planes for you without me. And I don't actually help with that. You're checking my address and threatening me that I'm not going to make it to the bathroom on time. And that's how you're landing the airplanes. And you don't think that about me at all. You think I can't afford that because you have threatening deceased and you don't really know how to go to jail and prison because you don't have yourself in the threatening. You don't believe a word I say about airplanes, air traffic control? You need to be in a jail and a prison. So you're not consuming the air traffic control, that there are keys that are this big all the way up in the sky and flying, and they have to land the key. And they do that for everyone who's in society and the public. And you're not due to consume that with any kind of property in dispute. If you don't believe in me that I land the airplanes, you're due to be in a jail and a prison because you don't believe in me is the signal to you that you need to be in a jail and a prison for yourself, for you to get a death on yourself, because you need a death out of the meters. The meters are on your illegal genitals. You don't have other illegal genitals to help you with these illegal genitals. Like that there would be something further to explore about yourself. It's jail and prison is where you are supposed to die out of your illegal genitals. You're not supposed to die in a car accident. You have to be out of the keys. When you're in the prison with deceased address, I suppose there are keys in there, but that's you having the keys in a deceased address, and you are still consuming keys that way. If you're not in a jail or a prison now for going to get a deceased address, for you to die, and you're going to die in illegal genitals, in the keys in society, which means it's in the all of the addresses everywhere internationally. The numbers don't even look the same. You don't have the numbers counting. They don't sound like 1, 2, 3. And you need to be in prison for the order.